All right, good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. My name is Caleb Powell, and I'm the Industry Outreach Coordinator for the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation's Office of Sustainable Practices. I'm going to be your host today for our webinar that is highlighting the Tire Environmental Act program. Today, we're going to be talking about the program, the general overview of the program, and then also we're going to get into some details of some past grant recipients from this program, so the projects that they've got going on, and then also the maybe not nomination period, but the application period for this grant that is currently open. So hoping that we get some good questions today about, how to create a good application, what we're looking for this grant, and yeah, just really just to share information of our program and what we're looking for to hopefully get some good beneficial reuse projects of Waste Tennessee tires. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to our TEAP, which is what we call the program, the Tire Environmental Act program, our TEAP coordinator, and sort of the man behind the program, Chris Pienta. He's my colleague. Been working with him for about 8.5 years, and he's the one that deals with if you get one of our grants, he's the point of contact for really all of these things. So Chris, I'm going to pass it on over to you. I'm giving you presenter capabilities, so you should be able to go through the slides, and I'll stop rambling. Here's Chris.
Thanks, Caleb. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining this afternoon, and appreciate your interest in the Tire Environmental Act program, and happy to talk about that with you all today. So the Tire Environmental Act program, or TEAP, started back in 2015. So we're just now entering our 11th year. And the program was created through the Tire Environmental Fund, which assesses a fee on the tires of a new vehicle when it's first titled in Tennessee. We receive $5 for any vehicle with 4 or less tires, $10 for vehicles with 5 to 10 tires, and $15 for vehicles with 11 or more tires. And through that fund, we usually end up receiving around $1.5 million, which we're able to give away annually through this grant program. And the grant, as Caleb pointed out, does provide financial assistance to all entities in Tennessee to enhance activities that fit into 3 different project categories that we're going to talk about: tire recycling, tire-derived material use, and research and development. The first category is tire recycling, and which focuses on entities that collect, transport, receive, and process waste tires into a material for beneficial end use. So those entities could be a private company looking to get into tire processing, would also include our local governments, who do handle a lot of our scrap tires, and we've provided funding to them for different pieces of equipment for them to manage their scrap tires at their facilities. So yeah, some examples of the projects that we've funded include tire shredding, tire granulation, tire collection equipment, or tire transportation equipment. And it's very important as part of these applications or proposals that you're able to identify viable end markets and associated partners. We definitely don't want to fund someone who can process a whole bunch of tires, but then not be able to find an end market for that material. The second category is our tire-derived material use, and that's essentially creating beneficial end markets for the processed waste tires. Some examples of these include construction of permeable surfaces that have environmental and engineering advantages, and that can include porous pavement trails, for some of our local parks or even our state parks, and also playground surfaces for schools or local parks as well. One new requirement that we do have with these type of projects is that we do require signage so that, yeah, once the project is complete, we can promote our program through these projects. These are great projects that get a whole lot of eyes on them, and so we definitely want to be able to have some signage talking about the program and the number of tires that have been diverted through that particular project. Some other examples include molded or extruded rubber products, and then also tire-derived aggregate that can be used in construction erosion control and filtration, such as erosion eels or drainage field aggregate. And another important part of this, and really the main purpose of this whole program, is that any project that we do fund, the rubber that is used for those projects must be sourced from Tennessee scrap tires. That's, again, really the main purpose of this program, is to keep those Tennessee tires out of the landfills. And so we want to make sure that whatever project we're funding is using those Tennessee source scrap tires. And if you do have any questions of where you can locate those products, I'm happy to answer those questions as well. The third category is our research and development category. This is limited to our higher education institutions or academic research centers. We've funded a couple of these. Working with UTK was one example, with some research they're doing with rubber modified asphalt to try and get some more rubber into our roads. Again, definitely with any application, we want to be able to identify viable end markets for the research and the product that you're doing the research and development on. And yeah, again, some potential examples include the rubberized asphalt research or research of alternative processing technology. Just a quick run through of the grant timeline. Our grant application period did just open back in mid-January, on January 15th. It will stay open through April 15th. And at that point, we will begin to review all the applications that we've received. We have a review committee that does sit down and look at all those. And usually by midsummer, we're finalizing selections of who we're going to award funding to, and we will notify those awardees at that time. And then once we get into late summer, early fall, we're starting to develop our grant contracts and executing those usually around September or October. So it is an annual grant cycle. Like I said, we did just open up our application period, and that runs again from January 15th through April 15th. It is a competitive grant. We do get a lot of applications, usually more than we're able to fund. So that's why we do have the review committee to sit down and look at how we can decide who does deserve to get the funding or who can provide the best return on investment for our funding. It's also a reimbursement grant, which means grantees do need to have their full funding up front so they can cover all the costs, and then they will submit invoices, and at that point we will reimburse them for their funds. We do have a minimum grant request of $10,000 and a maximum grant request of $500,000. For-profit businesses do have a 50-50 match requirement, and other entities such as local governments, nonprofits, K through 12, and higher ed, they have a 20% match. We'll match 80%, and they provide the additional 20%. And again, just a reminder that yes, all these Projects must be using Tennessee scrap tires to complete the project. So make sure you're ensuring whenever you reach out to whoever to source your rubber that you're asking that question, because we do require documentation saying that they are Tennessee tires. All of our grants are run through the grant management system, which is an online management system for all of our applications. You will need to be registered with the state as a vendor, and that can be done through our Edison platform. It is important that you do get 3 quotes for your project. That is a requirement of the state. So yeah, whether it's equipment or materials or labor, that you're getting those 3 quotes and submitting those with your application. We do have an annual reporting requirement as part of that's in statute. We do ask that our grantees provide diversion numbers on an annual basis, and then those numbers are reported to the General Assembly each year. So since the program's inception back in 2015, we have awarded roughly $12 million in grants, and that has allowed us to divert almost 9.5 million tires from our landfills. So yeah, definitely making an impact, and we'll continue to increase those numbers as we move forward. So I wanted to talk about just some of the different projects that we've funded over the years, just to give you an idea of what can be funded and yeah, how that works. So the first one, and I've talked about these, the porous pavement trails. Porous pavement is where you're adding rubber to a asphalt mix, so it's equal parts rubber and stone. It does provide more air voids so that water can pass through and infiltrate into the subsoil, so provide some stormwater benefits there. Other benefits include it's more slip resistant, more resistant to freeze thaw, and also more low maintenance than your typical asphalt surfaces. Some examples of that we've funded in the past. One project was working with Tellico Plains with their local park. They requested $117,000 in TEAP funds. They did have a 50-50 match with another grant with the recreational trail program. That is something that you can do if you're looking for ways to come up with matching funds. You can look at other grant opportunities to see if that's an option. With this specific program, they replaced a 2,000-foot long trail, which was 6 foot wide. Replaced that with a 2-inch thick, 10-foot wide chrome rubber modified asphalt porous pavement over compacted gravel and filter fabric to provide that porous layer. We used approximately 3 scrap tires for every 10 square foot of pavement that was installed, and the total project ended up diverting more than 6,000 waste tires from our landfills. We've also done several trail projects within our state parks: Cedars of Lebanon, T.O. Fuller, Montgomery Bell, Henry Horton as well. These again are great projects. We have a lot of eyes on these projects. Combined with those 4 parks where we've done these projects, that's more than 3 million guests that are coming through on an annual basis. So again, that's why we do we're requiring that you do provide signage at these type of projects, just so we can help promote our program and the recycling of tires. And for a lot of these park projects, they did do matching funds with other grants. As I mentioned, the RTP grant, that's one that's popular with our parks as well. Something we've started to venture into over the last couple of years is school playground surfaces. Um, Smith County was one that had applied a couple of years ago, asked for 326,000 in TEAP funding, and that was to provide mulch, rubber mulch surfaces for 18 playgrounds and one picnic area surface at 7 different schools across their county. The rubber mulch is a lot more safer than the regular wood mulch or pea gravel that a lot of schools currently use. Um, Definitely more durable than the wood mulch. Provides better fall protection with that rubber aspect to it. And the school district will save thousands of dollars a year not having to replace the wood mulch. It's something they would have to do on an annual basis to refill those surfaces just because the wood mulch breaks down so quickly. The rubber mulch does last a lot longer, and so they're not having to replace that on an annual basis and save several $1,000s a year not having to do that. This particular project will end up diverting 62,000 scrap tires from the landfill. So yeah, a great project, and we're looking for more opportunities to work with our schools. That picture on the right there, that's another example of the type of rubber surface you can use with playgrounds. That's a pour in place rubber product, a little different from the rubber mulch, but again, something that we can fund if that's something that you're looking to do with your playground surface. We also like to look at different types of projects that may be a little outside the box. One of these was with Metro Nashville, using the flexible porous pavement for their tree surrounds. They requested $96,000 in TEAP funds. It was a 50-50 match with Metro Nashville, and throughout the downtown area, they replaced 130 of the broken or missing cast iron aluminum tree grates and used this flexible porous paving. The FlexiPave product is a lot less expensive than the metal grates. Definitely cut down on tripping hazards and was ADA compliant, unlike the metal grates. Also lower maintenance and liability costs using the FlexiPave. And then that material also allows the water to infiltrate into the root system because it is that porous material. This was a partnership with Patriot Tire Recycling, who's out of Bristol, Tennessee, another one of our grantees. And this project diverted 1,200 tires from our landfills. And yeah, roughly a 4x4 section ended up using 5 tires, a 5x10 section using 17 tires. Another innovative project that we've helped fund was working with Binghamton Development Corporation out of Memphis. They were looking to do a bike lane barrier project using scrap tires. They requested $35,000 in TEAP funding, purchased a tire deconstruction machine, and along a 1.2 mile pilot section, a broad avenue in Memphis, they put down these 420 tires that were used as bike lane barriers. a much cheaper alternative to what was currently being used in Memphis. You can see the pictures there on the right of what those actually look like installed. Because they were so successful and popular, they've since received some additional TEAP funding to do 3 additional streets there in Memphis. And yeah, Binghamton is now partnering with the city to maintain those barriers. The city's been very happy with these over their previous option. And again, like I said, it's a cheaper alternative and one that's more durable than what they had used in the past. Metro Nashville had heard about this pilot as well and is looking into maybe doing something similar in their Metro Nashville area as well. Another project we funded was with Blount County out in East Tennessee. This was a rubber modified asphalt project. They were looking to put some new asphalt down on some of their county roads and wanted to incorporate the rubber into that asphalt to make their roads a little more durable. It also can help with reducing the noise and also reducing spray during rain events. So they use this smart mix material from Liberty Recycling, and it's simply just an additive that is added to the regular asphalt mix. It's 10 pounds of tire rubber for every ton of mix. And yeah, they're able to put down 18 miles of roads using this material, and they'll be just keeping track of that over the next few years to see how well it works compared to their just standard asphalt mix. And if it does prove to be more durable, they'll look at doing more of these type of projects in the future. And then another type of project that we help fund is working with our local government agencies, and Lawrence County was one that reached out to us. Our local counties do manage the majority of our scrap tires here in Tennessee, so we definitely want to continue to help them wherever we can. So they had applied for $365,000 in TEAP funds, and that was to purchase a track hoe to help them, just manage all their scrap tires that they receive at their convenience center. They receive, roughly 1,100 tons of scrap tires each year. So a lot of tires, and if they could have this type of equipment available, then that would definitely make their operations a lot more efficient and a lot more safer than what they had been using in the past. And they also were able to purchase a truck and a trailer, so they could use the track hoe to go out into some of the remote areas of the county to help clean up some of the illegal tire dumps. So another great benefit of helping out our local counties is helping to clean up some of those dumps that all counties seem to be dealing with. So another great benefit to that project. And then they did do a big public education campaign with social media, radio, newspaper, and also working with their Lawrence County schools just to educate people about the importance of recycling and scrap tires in Tennessee. So just a reminder that yes, the grant application period is open now and will be open through April 15th. So get your applications in, and I'm happy to answer any questions now or later, whenever you do begin your application, yeah, happy to answer any questions at that point as well. But
Thanks, Chris. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions? I don't see any in the chat box. Feel free to use a little raising hand emoji if you would like to ask the question yourself, or if you want to put it in the chat box. I'm happy to read that out to Chris and get that question asked and hopefully answered for you. Not seeing any thus far. I'm going to wait a second, but also wanted to mention that this is being recorded and will be used as a resource housed on our webpage, the TEAP website that Chris mentioned, and that's linked there. Also, for everyone registered and everyone that attended today, this recording and a follow-up email will be sent out to you in the next couple days. That will have the slides and information on as well as the recording. So I'm not seeing any questions at this time, but like I mentioned, you have our contacts. You got my contact and Chris's contact. So feel free to shoot us questions at any time while you're filling out your application. And like I said, be on the lookout for that follow-up email that, oh, I just had a couple thank yous. Oh, here we go. I got a question actually, Chris. It says, are child care centers eligible for the grant for resurfacing for their playground?
yes, they would be. We do have different matching requirements depending on the type of childcare. If it's a private childcare facility, there would be like a 50-50 match. But uh, if it's not a private business and it's connected with local government or whatever, then yeah, it would be just a 20% match. But yes, that is something that we can fund. Haven't done that in the past, but yeah, definitely would be able to do that.
Awesome. I don't see any other questions thus far, but like was mentioned before, you've got our contact information as you're filling out those applications and you have issues or questions or just comments that can make the application better, or like I said, you just need assistance, please reach out to us. And this, like I said, along with other resources and the application are housed on our TEAP website. You'll have the link to that. And hopefully that'll help you guys during that process. So hope everybody, I know that this is laid out to be an hour webinar, but I don't think anybody's mad about having half an hour back to their day. So Chris, thanks for all you do with this program and this grant. And I know you're excited to see all the different applications that are coming in this year.
Thanks, Caleb.
Everyone have a good one.